I was thinking casually one day, why have we regressed when it comes to strong female characters? With enough time, I did come up with an answer. However, I'm gonna probably focus on the movie Aliens, because it has one of the strongest female characters in movie history. So, why in a video about themes of motherhood in Aliens do I bring up strong female characters? Because Ripley, being a mother, has a lot to do with her character. A strong character to me is well rounded, having strengths and weaknesses. This counts for heroes and villains alike, and you should be able to understand their motivation. It's a good thing that you could know a response that would have you ask them a question, or what action they would take. Ripley is that sort of character. However, this is not a full study of Ripley, just how it pertains to her being a mother. Let's go back to the beginning of the movie. Ripley is rescued from the escape pod of the destroyed ship Nostromo. It's the company Weyland-Yutani that has gotten to her. However, there is some bad news. You see, it's been 57 years that she has been in hypersleep. We find out soon that Ripley had a daughter.
Hey guys,
Do you have any news about my daughter?
Amanda Ripley McLaren, married name, I guess, age 66. And that was at the time of her death, which was 2 years ago.
Amy. Should I be home for her birthday? Her 11th birthday.
From that clip, we know that her daughter was older than Ripley and is dead. There's so much to grip with for one person to handle. All she can do is collapse. All sorts of emotions are going through her head, but the one we see is sadness. She lost time with her daughter. The company wants Ripley to go to a space colony where she was before in the first movie. Why? Because they have lost communications with that colony. The company and Ripley know now these creatures, now called xenomorphs, are the cause of the communication blackout. Since Ripley has encountered these things before, they want her to go back as an advisor on the mission. The reason I bring it up is because she doesn't want to go back. After all, these xenomorphs almost killed her and are deadly hunters. The problem is Ripley is having vivid nightmares. She keeps having the same one. In the movie, this is motivation for her going on the mission. I think it's to find closure on her past by confronting her greatest fear. A bit of that is because of the loss of her daughter. She didn't have closure on her daughter, but she can have some with this trip. Now that Ripley has agreed to go back to the place of the first movie, she is put into cryosleep. She's accompanied by space marines because they're on a mission to kill the xenomorphs. Another part of the mission is to find out what happened to the families there. I'm not going to focus too much on the section of her being on the ship though. The only thing of note about her being on said ship is her encounter with the android and debriefing scene. They're important for her character, but not for her being a mother. She doesn't trust the android because of the first movie, and she knows about the aliens, so she debriefs the Marines. Also, she wants to be useful to the Marines, so she helps them out sometimes.
I feel like kind of a fifth wheel around here. Is there anything I can do?
I don't know. Is there anything you can do?
Well, I can drive that loader. Where you want it?
Everything she is doing is helping her get over her nightmares and the loss of her daughter. It's until they land on the colony that her motherly instincts are fully realized. The reason for this is that there is one survivor still on the colony, a little girl.
Try this. It's a little hot chocolate. Here you go. Uh-oh. I made a clean spot here. Now I've done it. Guess I'll have to do the whole thing. Hard to believe there's a little girl under all this. What'd you say?
Not only is she the only person left, but she's been there for a long time. 40 days, in fact. It seems from the clip that she has been through a lot. Because Ripley had a daughter, she's the only one who can handle the situation. Also, the rest of the crew are soldiers or company people. The little girl says her name is Newt, so that's what everyone calls her from now on. Throughout the movie, Ripley and Newt connect. Ripley right away wants to protect Newt from all harm. Not just as a mother figure, but also as a human being. You can see how she will become a mother from the scene anyway. However, Newt is a different story. Her parents are dead, and she has been alone for a long time, as I've said before. So basically, Newt has closed off her emotions from this terrible ordeal. Seeing this, Ripley wants her to trust them and become more human again. Throughout the film, they become closer by a couple of means. First, let's go on how Newt connects with Ripley. Initially, she has a lot of knowledge of the colony. She lets them know how to survive in the base. This lets Ripley boost Newt's morale and draws out her emotions.
I guess we're not going to be leaving now, right? We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
Ripley stands up for Newt at one point because Newt has survived without weapons or training, saying we would be taking her advice on how to avoid alien contact. This pushes the two closer, not knowingly, like a mother and daughter. After a few days, she does sort of trust Ripley, but still doesn't feel safe enough to sleep in a bed out in the open. Newt hides under the bed in the base's lab to feel safe enough to sleep. Ripley comes in and notices she is indeed under the bed. This is the point, I think, where they both see they both need each other to feel better about themselves. Ripley sees Newt as a daughter to protect her. Newt now sees she can't close herself off forever and needs a mother figure. Now let's focus more on Ripley for a moment. Let's go back in time a bit to a point right after rescuing the other Marines from the alien attack by driving the APC, meaning Armored Personal Carrier. Anyway, her taking action puts a man called Hicks in charge by the rank of command. What does this have to do with Ripley? Well, they become closer as a result of this. This relationship, like the one with Newt, is a slow burn throughout the film.
That's a grenade launcher. I don't think you want to mess with that.
You started this. Show me everything. I can handle myself.
Yeah, I noticed.
If Newt is a stand-in for a new daughter, then Hicks becomes a stand-in for a husband? Well, maybe a boyfriend at least. Her learning how to use a rifle feeds her need to protect Newt. Also, she doesn't like being useless, which leads to her overcoming her fear and loss. Having something to do or keeping your hands busy makes coping a lot easier. From all this time in the film, we know a lot of things about Ripley as a mother. She's tough and can take care of herself, but is also mature enough to know that she does need other people. Not only does she see Newt as a daughter by the end, but as how Ripley was in the first film, alone and afraid, and she wants to help her so that little girl doesn't have to go through the same thing as badly as she did. It's not just Ripley that references the theme of motherhood. The Xenomorphs also do this. You see, earlier in the movie, they mention where the alien eggs come from. Well, they propose something is laying these eggs. Just like with a beehive, there must be an alien queen. The situation wouldn't be so bad, but you see, the facehugger creatures that come out of the eggs have one purpose: to find a host. Then the horror begins.
You're gonna be all right. Give me a hand. We gotta get her out of here.
It's a deep. What's going on?
Carlton!
Get back!
The host gives birth to what we know as a xenomorph, a deadly hunter, protector, and avenger. So when the Marines burn the host's body, the aliens are alerted. This gives us a glance into the family structure. Monsters, such as this, are just doing what they were born to do. Their instincts. This is how they are made. This is how they thrive. But how they do it is really disturbing. Wait, what if they were in a heavily populated area? Would they ever stop? From what we see in the colony, probably not. So, now we know the stakes of the situation is for both mothers, so to speak. What will happen next? What will they do to protect their own? Now I want to go back to Ripley and the gang. They're on full lockdown mode at this point, trying to protect themselves from the xenomorph threat until someone comes to rescue them. Turns out that the aliens are smarter than they thought, as they are testing out the defenses and finally turning off the power as they finally attack.
5 meters, man. 4. What the hell? Oh my God.
Give me the.
The Xenos could be getting marching orders from the Queen, so it could be a hive mind. Still, even without a Queen, they are effective hunters as shown in Alien and the other movies. In any case, they assault the base, and because of it, Newt is separated from Ripley. You see now it's personal for both mothers of the film, Ripley and the Alien Queen. It's personal for Ripley because she and Newt have become close. So close, in fact, she is like a daughter to her. They don't find a body, so Ripley deduces that she must have been taken to be used like the rest of her family, to be a human incubator.
No!
Wait, how is it personal for the Alien Queen? Well, think about it. These humans killed her children, and she's going to use Newt as a new child. Now Ripley goes to rescue Newt by herself, and she follows a signal on a watch she gave her earlier in the film. Down Ripley goes into the depths of the hive until she comes across Newt still alive. Ripley is just in time to save her from the facehugger and kills it, but unfortunately they both notice something they've never seen before, but have theorized to exist: the Alien Queen. What is very interesting is that they have a standoff for a moment. This is based on Ripley having a flamethrower and threatening the Queen's eggs. The reason I find it so interesting is that from a mother's point of view, they both want to protect their children. They both have an understanding of the situation, but because of what Ripley went through, she can't let a single one live. From the monster's point of view, she is the bad guy here. She breaks this unspoken peace by putting flames on the eggs. Both of them are a mother scorned, and will go to the ends of the earth for revenge. The Queen indeed does that. Like Ripley before, will go confront the threat head on. The Queen stowaways on their escape shuttle just to kill who would dare threaten her children. She rips apart Bishop and tries to kill Newt until Ripley intervenes.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Ripley challenges the Queen with the power loader. A deathmatch ensues, in which it's an uphill battle for Ripley. This is not a combat mech suit. It's basically a forklift that transfers sensitive materials. In the middle of the fight, she gets the idea to force the alien into space. Ripley went from a person with terrible PTSD and having nightmares to a strong mother figure. A mother figure to a little girl who went through a similar situation. Ripley is filling the hole with lost time with Newt. It doesn't mean she's selfish, she is just vulnerable. Similar with Newt, who clings to Ripley after enough time. Colonel Hex, who takes over the team's leadership halfway through the film, becomes someone Ripley fully trusts. This completes the so-called family unit. Ripley and Hicks, by the end of the movie, are romantically involved.
See you, Hicks.
Dwayne. It's Dwayne.
Ellen.
Don't be gone long, Ellen.
By this, he is loosely the father, but also is the boyfriend. Newt, I do think, does see him as a father figure, though. I believe she trusts in Ripley's decisions. On the opposite end, the alien queen just wanted her kin to survive. She may be a space bug, but she is smart enough to recognize the threat Ripley represented. When she burns the eggs, then the queen acts with rage, a rage with direction at Ripley and anyone near her. This is a clear signal that the queen wants revenge on Ripley. The queen winning a one-on-one fight instead of going after Newt also proves this. She accepts the challenge, and that tells us what the queen is thinking. In the end, the theme of motherhood I don't think is hidden. I just want to explore it to get back into video creation. A real softball kind of thing I think most people might agree on. I've been thinking about this for a while, and so I made this video. Anywho, thanks for watching, and please give it a like, and if you want, subscribe for more content, because I plan to make more content. What will happen next, I don't know. Maybe something Disney and the fall and rise of Marvel, or another response, because I've been wanting to do that for a while again. I've been throwing out a couple ideas to myself, so and I'll get to writing again. Who knows? And all right, bye bye.